More people seem to be taking on their own legal matters without
Okay.
hiring lawyers, and law libraries can be a great resource for much needed information. The average person like you and I can kind of get a handle on this AI and
Yeah.
use it to help write, to help
Okay.
draft legal documents that the
Yeah.
courts require. It depends on where you are and what you're doing.
Joining me today is Kimball Boone, and he is a law librarian. So, Kimball, welcome. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Of course. So, let's go ahead and get started. Kimball, in the most simple way possible, can you please explain to me what a law librarian does and what a law librarian is?
Sure. Basically, a law librarian helps people find what they're looking for, which is almost always law-related information.
Okay. And so, what made you want to get into this career path, and how did you get your start in it?
It came both naturally and serendipitously, following law
Okay.
school and my predecessor's retirement.
Okay.
I was in the right place at the right time and had a colleague who pointed me to this specific opportunity. I love libraries and have an affinity for the law.
Okay. And so, what parts of your job are the most exciting or the most interesting to you?
I would say networking, reaching out, speaking, making people aware of our resources and services.
Okay. And so now kind of on the flip side, what parts of the job are harder, emotionally challenging, or maybe just not so fun?
So, not unique to law libraries. It can be emotionally challenging when staff decide to clash with the direction given or feel disappointed for one reason or another, like change, and
Okay.
then motivating them to go ahead to be even better.
Okay. And so now what do you think that people might underestimate or overestimate about this profession?
They they overestimate free time. They think that
Okay.
there's plenty of time for leisure reading. Like,
Okay.
I can barely keep up with all the correspondence, the reports and such in between taking care of customers and staff. So
Yeah. And so now going into kind of what the industry looks like, are there specific niches or specialties that one can choose to specialize in within the law librarian world?
yeah, I'd say that within law librarianship, the big three are one, law schools, two, law firms, and three, government law libraries at various levels,
Okay.
be they city or county like mine,
Okay.
state, circuit, appellate, etc. Another way to see these three niches are um, academic, private, and government. For now, I've chosen my specialty based on immediate family needs, and like I said earlier, is a bit serendipitous or good luck.
Yeah. Yeah. And so this next question is kind of similar, but who are some of the biggest employers of this industry? Who looks for a law librarian?
Like I just said, I just mentioned the law schools, and there are lots of law schools out there. Corporate law firms, usually the
Okay.
bigger law firms, national, international law firms that have libraries or research centers. They're called sometimes different names. They could
Okay.
be informational specialists or professionals, and then government are
Okay.
probably the biggest employers in this industry.
Okay. Amazing. And now before we hopped on this call, I had to do a little bit of research regarding the average salary for a law librarian. So according to Google, it says about $73,000. So according to your experience, what do you think about that number?
Yeah, that could be right. And
Okay.
income can go up based on experience and qualifications. It also may depend on which type of law library you work in.
Okay.
But like you said, that could be a range from beginning to more experience to, at the end of your
Yeah.
career. So there's a wide range, I'd say.
Okay, perfect. And now, what are some current trends or challenges in this industry, and how do you see it changing in, say, 5 to 10 years?
One current trend is artificial intelligence, AI,
Okay.
how it affects the practice of law, libraries, etc.
Yeah.
It's kind of amusing. But looking looking from the inside out, I'd say our professional pipeline from both library schools and law schools will grow over the next several years. More people seem to be taking on their own legal matters without
Okay.
hiring lawyers, and law libraries can be a great resource for much needed information.
Yeah. And how do you think, or how do you see that AI has been working or affecting the law librarianship area?
Ooh, good follow-up question. I think it can come in handy for our customers,
Okay.
and that's to be determined. I think it's still in development, it's still trending.
Yeah.
In addition to the practice of law, the professionals, lawyers, paralegals, uh, legal administrators, I would say, the general public, the average person like you and I can kind of get a handle on this AI and
Yeah.
use it to help write, to help
Okay.
draft legal documents that the
Yeah.
courts require. Um, it depends on where you are and what you're doing, but that can come in handy. And you want to double check and make sure it's good to go, because
Yeah.
people can get in trouble for not having the right information in what they're
Yeah.
filing. But yeah, it can help save work and maybe save headaches, but it could also cause work and headaches if not used.
How do you stay updated with the latest developments in your field?
I attend professional conferences. I read articles and other professional materials when I can.
Okay.
Participation in AALL or AALL, it's the American Association of Law Libraries,
Okay.
and my local chapter. That helps me stay in tune with the latest and greatest.
Amazing. And so now kind of diving into your daily work and your tasks, what's your schedule like and what tasks do you spend the majority of your day doing?
I try to schedule myself for an hour or two on the public floor with
Okay.
our customers every day. I attend meetings throughout the week, plenty of them. Mostly communicating with colleagues in person, by phone, via email, or other online platforms like
Okay.
this is where my day goes.
Yeah. Amazing. And so now, are you able to work any flexible hours or remotely? Is this a remote friendly job, a hybrid friendly job? What does that kind of look like for a law librarian?
For me, it's more common to work set hours in office,
Okay.
though those hours can and do stretch later.
Okay.
My meetings or trainings may be across town or out of town. Our doors here are open Monday through Friday, so I get to be on site with customers and staff most of the time.
Okay.
During the COVID-19 pandemic, we did close our doors for a time and worked remotely, responding to an increase in phone calls
Okay.
and emails.
Yeah. And are you able to leave all of your work at the office, or do you see that sometimes you might take some home?
Yes, I can leave work at the office generally, so I take it home from time to time, like
Okay.
preparing for this podcast.
Okay. Sounds good. And so now, are there any busy seasons in this job? And if so, what are they?
The end of the fiscal year can be busy, which is now June in the
Okay.
city of Virginia Beach. We're
Okay.
wrapping up loose ends. Also, in the fall, preparing our law library budget of special revenue funds for the following fiscal year gets busy.
Okay.
How busy with customers law libraries in the government sector tend to be may depend on their court's schedule. I can only
Okay.
speak for my own.
Yeah. And so now kind of diving into specific skills and knowledge, are certain degrees or certifications truly required to become a law librarian?
I like that, truly.
Truly required.
Usually a library degree is required
Okay.
and a law degree is helpful, as in my
Mhm.
case, but it depends. It may
Okay.
vary from, the different types of law libraries.
Yeah. And so now, what are some natural strengths or talents that someone has to have in order to be a good law librarian?
One has to have a strong desire to serve others,
Okay.
Patience and listening skills are essential. In my work, I get to associate with people from all walks of life with
Mm,
lots going on. So it helps to have these come naturally, but these can also be learned.
yeah. And so now, what are some topics that you kind of end up thinking about all day? And what subjects do you think that someone has to be interested in order to enjoy a career like yours?
I end up thinking or talking about what assignments or projects need doing, what we
Okay.
can do better, how we can accomplish more outreach and serve more people.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to hide under a rock, but get out there and shine. And I think having an idea of the various areas of law, their terms of art, and
Yeah.
similarly an idea of the controlled vocabulary of the library world will help one
Okay.
along. But maybe
Yeah.
the most helpful is working with people.
Okay. Amazing. And now, so what are some tools, technologies, or softwares that you might use as part of your job?
I use various office tools to accomplish copying, faxing, printing, scanning, even laminating,
Okay.
the internet and intranet, traditional print books with indices,
Okay.
as well as online legal research databases, plus our integrated library system.
Okay. And so now we want to give a little bit of advice to our listeners. So, what do you recommend that candidates that are interested in this job do to set themselves apart from other candidates?
Go to library school, then
Okay.
go to law school, get supervisory experience. A good background and education can set you up for success.
Okay. And now, if someone kind of wants to make a pivot from another career into this one, what do you think is the fastest way that they can get their foot in the door?
I guess it depends on what experience or schooling they've already
Yeah.
completed, as well as
Yeah.
how far they want to go once in the door. Both library school and law school are great for generalists, those interested in
Okay.
everything under the sun, or at least a broad swath of it.
Yeah.
Libraries have it all, and the law touches it all. So, in my opinion, law libraries are a nice combination.
Yeah.
Volunteering on the
Okay.
side, when and where possible, can also be a good way to accelerate that transition, getting that experience.
And volunteering in what areas?
Maybe for law firms or in law
Okay.
libraries specifically, if the opportunity, is available.
Yeah, of course.
Just making that effort, if you don't have experience, to get that experience.
And so now what are some books, resources, programs, or certifications that you recommend our listeners look into if they're interested in this type of job?
So I would say everything AALL,
Okay.
which is the American Association of Libraries. They have a robust website with tons of good resources. Also, I'd recommend a recently published book um, titled Introduction to Law Librarianship,
Okay.
and that is the editors for that are Joyner and Laskowski,
Okay.
and it's a few hundred pages of thorough introduction.
Wow.
And if someone's looking at library school or law school, consider those programs accredited by the ALA or the ABA, that being the American Library Association or
Okay.
the American Bar Association, respectively.
Okay. Perfect. So what other fields are somewhat similar to this one that listeners might be interested in?
I'd say, law libraries are what I'd call special libraries, but
Okay.
there are other types of special libraries besides law, including those specializing in business, medicine, music, and the military. So consider checking out the Special Libraries Association website. If law is not an interest, but libraries are, check out
Okay.
possibilities with public libraries and K through 12 school libraries.
Mm.
If
Yeah.
law is an interest, perhaps practicing law or becoming a paralegal. would be
Okay.
something to consider.
And now, finally, if you could talk to your younger self when you were just beginning your career, what would you tell him?
Set goals, invest in employers' retirement plans as applicable, keep
Yeah,
loving people, nurturing relationships, both at home and at the office.
yeah,
We're all on life's journey together and we all need each other to make it the best.
I
We're each
completely
unique
agree.
and we complement each other along the way.
Completely agree. Well, thank you, Kimball, so much for being here today and sharing your experience as a law librarian. Your insight was greatly appreciated. Thank you so much.
You just got one episode closer to learning about the world of jobs out there. To explore the rest of our career categories and find your best fit, go to jobdictionary.com to sign up for the beta users waitlist. Then subscribe here to find the next episodes coming out this week. And as always, drop us a comment, review, or message to let us know how we could better attune our episodes to your specific needs. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, X, Threads, Pinterest, and wherever else you're on socials to go get our short, snappy preview reels that expose you to new job options every day. Because here at Job Dictionary, we believe your big aha moment can be just one scroll away. Go check it out and get out there. Cheers!